Hi everyone, and welcome to NCNG Talks, the show where we meet smart people from tech and talk about their business. This week we're hosting Alex from Kerberus, the only security extension with zero losses since 2023. We'll talk about their hyperactive year, the way they listen to their community, and how they acquired their second company in less than 3 years. Hope you enjoy. Have a great moment with us. Introduce you. You're Alex. You're the CEO of Kerberus, which is the extension that protects users from scams, phishings, and hacks. Can we say that it's the safest protection for Web3 users already?
Definitely the safest, but also pretty much the only protection at this point. Kerberus and now Pocket Universe, also powered by Kerberus Security, are the most widely adopted security extensions. And I would say since the last bull market, we are the last man standing. So either you choose us, either Kerberus or Pocket Universe. Kerberus is going to shift into a more Pocket Universe experience, the Kerberus Sentinel-3. So either you choose us or you're left with whatever the wallets give you, which they have proven to not protect people as they should.
Whoa. And I remember you had this marketing line of zero losses since 2023. Is that still standing?
Yep, that's still standing. Any user using our extension on the chains that we protect. Unfortunately, some people lose funds on chains that we don't protect on. But if we are protecting you on a chain and we show you a pop-up and like a warning, and you don't ignore it, then you're not gonna lose funds. That's pretty much it.
Okay, I mean that's very clear. Yeah, you had a pretty crazy year actually. You've been everywhere. We saw you like at Token 49 in Bangkok, like at so many events in Argentina, etc. Yeah, I prepared a little bit of a timeline. Maybe we can talk about it, and you tell me how you felt along the way. I'm pretty sure that you had a big year as well, so maybe you don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but it's interesting for us to know how these things happen. And the first one is, as you mentioned, you're protecting only certain chains. And one of the big news is that you became the first extension to protect Solana this year, right?
Was February 2025 is when we launched Solana protection. Yeah, we are the only ones.
God damn! I mean, that's a big achievement. It means that any Solana users can use Kerberus and be protected when they trade, when they use the chains.
Yes, that's exactly what it means. So Kerberus was all EVM chains since 2023, pretty much, a very, very long time. That I don't remember exactly when, but we didn't have Solana. People asked us for Bitcoin for ordinals. We never got around to doing it, and I'm glad we didn't get around to doing it. It seems that people should just buy Bitcoin to hold Bitcoin and not try to experiment too much on the asset. But Solana was overdue, and we were late a little bit. If you remember, in January was Trump coin, Melania coin, and
Yes.
Libra coin. I don't know if it was January or February, all that stuff. But February is when we came out with Solana protection. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right after it. I don't know if it was better or if it was worse, but at least the timing was interesting. And yeah, you mentioned something also very interesting about the community is that you are listening to the community very actively. I know you guys actually come from Neo Tokyo, if I remember well, so which is already a very important pouch of the Web3 community. What's your way of listening to your people? You have a lot of users, so I assume you cannot really just like read all the messages. But how's this relationship going?
Actually, we do read all the messages. But it's not that there are that many. With the market activity, the messaging activity goes down, I would say.
True.
But very, very early on, we had a lot of feedback. I'm talking 2023, pretty much. That we had so much feedback even before that when we have the beta version, and that's when we were listening to users like much more regularly than now. Now I would say that it's not so much listening to users, but seeing what users are doing. So, for example, long time ago, I think it was probably 2023, maybe 2024. One of our users lost funds to address poisoning. So they came to me and they're like, hey, Alex, I sent 10K to this address, but it doesn't arrive. And I go and I check it and I'm like, you copied the wrong address. So based on that user, I shared with Danor, and Danor was like, I can create a solution for that. And in a matter of a week, maybe two, we had the solution for address poisoning. So we are always looking at what users are doing. Sometimes they will straight up tell us something, and we're like, sure, we'll do that. But most of the time, it's us observing the market, the user activity, where people are. Solana was long overdue. I said we were a little bit late, but the truth is we were very late. I wish we could have released even before that. But wherever the users are and what they're doing is what we're trying to protect and develop. Some users are like, hey, when are you going to build security around this chain? I don't want to say any names. And I look at the chain and there's like 3 people on that chain. There's a small movement. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to put our energy into a chain that's not widely used. We have to go for what most people would enjoy protection on.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sure you also in the first place to actually see how this whole security, I would say the breaches and the hacks are evolving. We know that hackers in general are pretty creative. How do you manage to kind of follow and ideally even be there before a hack or like a technique becomes a bit too impactful? Like, do you manage to actually anticipate a bit like the risks of the future?
I'm not sure that we can anticipate risks that are inexistent. Maybe in the future we'll be able to do something like that. Right now, what we do is we have an almost infallible phishing solution. To put it in very simple terms, by phishing, I'm not talking just phishing. I'm talking Web3 sites designed or hacked to steal from people. We developed a completely unique tech that shuts any attack down when it comes to that. Even with a little bit improved techniques, because of the way that we built the tech, which allows it to be chain agnostic. That's why we were EVM, all EVM. By the way, it's not just all EVM. We were all current EVM and all future EVM in Sentinel-3, meaning that if a new EVM chain would show up, we would still be protected on that chain. So because of that, when it comes to that, pretty much infallible. The one thing that we wish we could do something about, and we will do something about, but I'm not sure exactly when, is malware. Right now, almost every person that comes to our Discord that is like, oh, I got drained, does your coverage support me? I go and I look, no, it's a private key compromise. That's something that we're not protecting against. That's the biggest vector right now.
Okay.
Pattern of talking to people, both on Kerberus Discord and Pocket Universe Discord, people getting their private keys stolen. It's most people is downloading some sort of crypto game, conferencing software, trading bot, something like that, and they are using hot wallets. And if anyone watches my interviews, they'll say that I'm a robot because I'm always saying use a hardware wallet. We don't make any money by you buying a hardware wallet. I'm not selling anything, but the hardware wallet protects you against the biggest risk right now in crypto, which is malware. Which it's so bad malware that another person ends up being the owner of your wallets. It's catastrophic. You can't go back from that. It's imagine if I told you own a house. Now there's another person with a master key. It doesn't matter what you do, they will always be able to access your house. Obviously, this doesn't happen in real life. With wallets, yes, you're completely out of ownership of that wallet. You can still use it, but someone else can use it too. And just the hardware wallet, any of the major reputable ones, Ledger, Trezor, just the hardware wallet protects you from that. And I still see people trading 6 figures in hot wallets. And then something happens, I'm like, oh, yeah. it's like having 6 figures in your pocket while walking around in the street. Pretty much. You don't do that.
Yeah.
At most you have mid 4 figures, maybe 5 figures, low 5 figures at most, in some specific situation where you take it from A to B, and then it's you don't do it every day.
Yeah.
But people are using hot wallets for 6 figures plus, and it's, I can't believe it to this day. And some people, I talk to them and I tell them, look, you shouldn't do this, and they're like, no, it's not going to happen to me, because a lot of people think they're smarter, and then, oh, I thought it would never happen to me. You had 6 figures in a hot wallet instead of spending $100-$200 in a hardware wallet and protecting yourself. So if you take anything from this video, please buy a hardware wallet.
Yeah, that was another hot take that you had last time when we had a conversation, which was, at the end of the day, there's only much you can protect, because the biggest liability is the user, is the guy who's gonna think basically that he can outsmart the rest of the markets. You still think that? Yeah.
I still think I still think that. I think that in trading terms, I think that's going away. I think that this market has humbled everyone. Everyone has been humbled by this market, and everyone thought, okay, I have even me. I have experience from the previous market. I know what I need to do. And this market was like, maybe you should just DCA Bitcoin and close your eyes. That's it. And I still have people talk to me, even close friends. No, I think I'm going to go into trading because I think I can. I'm like, look, most people cannot. And if you're going to do it, I hope you dedicate all your breathing time. Like every time you're breathing and not sleeping, like almost everything, you should be like trying to get an edge on how the market works, which in my opinion is highly manipulated, if not like almost completely manipulated. So yeah, I think everyone gets humbled at some point. This market has humbled most people.
Yeah.
And when it comes to security, it could take 4 years. It could take 8 years for you to get humbled on security. And that's a problem, because you go 4 years, no losses, nothing, continuing bad practices such as using a hot wallet, right? And maybe there's a new kind of malware that comes in some sort of like the trust wallet thing, where you didn't even need to download a file. It was just an update on Trust Wallet, and you had your hot wallet there. And tomorrow it could happen to someone else, even if they say that they have the best security. And after 4 years of your portfolio growing because you were great at doing whatever you did, you're humbled by not following proper practices, which is just to use a hardware wallet. That's all I'm asking. Just use a hardware wallet. I have one right here. Like all I'm using hardware wallets for everything. I think I have $50 in my hot wallet right now. Maybe a couple hundred more. I don't care if I lose it. It's okay. But yeah,
everything is there. But with the pace at which things are evolving, and yeah, at the end of the day, it's also hard for people who have other jobs, other lives, to keep an eye on what's happening. Do you think it actually makes sense for people to try to get educated on this, or is it just a game of, at some point you have to stop trying and you just trust whoever is showing you that they can protect you? Like here, I'm trying to make a bit the allegory with the .com, like the normal internet, where at the end of the day, most people would have an antivirus, but no one tries to understand how it works, and everyone accepted that. Like, is it the direction that we take? Because everyone wants to be smart in Web3. Everyone wants to think like, oh, I'm not like, signing stupid smart contracts. But yeah.
Well, we can't get to mass adoption until we get to the point, like you mentioned, like everyone has an antivirus and no one doesn't need to understand it. Until we get to, but the problem is the antivirus will protect you from your computer getting some bad file, but it will not, like that bad file before crypto would not take 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures from you.
Yeah, it's true.
Worst case scenario, you had to format your computer. It's an inconvenience, right? Worst case scenario. I'm sure that in company scenarios, there's files that could be lost that are worth a lot. But for the everyday person, worst case scenario, you have to format your hard drive with a traditional virus. With crypto and Web3, you can lose all your funds. Some people have all their funds in crypto. I was one of them in the previous bull market, for example. You could lose everything. But by the way, I had everything I did in the previous bull market, I put it into Anchor for USD yield. It was Anchor called, or what was the name? I'm for Luna, Terra, the chain.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
It was Anchor protocol. I'm not sure if but it was a protocol where you put UST, US Terra, and it gave you like 20% APY.
Yes.
I was lucky enough that I was on Twitter and I saw someone mention that UST depegged, and I was like, my first thought, I cannot forget this, was it's okay, it will repeg. It happened to USDC2, and it did happen to USDT many times. It happened to USDC many times as well. It always repegged. And then I was like, but what if it doesn't? So I went and I took the money out. It depegged like 3% or something, and that's how much I gained from the yield.
Okay.
I sold everything for USDC or T, I don't remember. And after that, it plummeted.
Wow, lucky.
So at that point, I had everything in crypto. Now, this was an advanced risk, I would say. Maybe not that advanced. A lot of people lost a lot of money on Luna. But what I'm trying to say is that if we want people to hold their money on chain, right, and also the world is pushing people into doing that. There's so many regulations coming in banks and things like that, and some people are forced to transact on chain. Argentina, where I'm from, used to be that before Milei kind of stabilized the dollar. It's not stable, but it's much better than it was before. You had two choices: or you held stacks of dollars in your house, or you put it in the blockchain, which has other risks, right? But I'm saying is some people are forced into being on chain. We want people to be on chain, but there's so many pitfalls for them. So the vision for Kerberus is a secure by default experience for crypto. That's the ultimate vision. We're going step by step to there. But so your question was about education. There's a degree of education that people should have. For example, that they should use a hardware wallet if they hold a significant amount, right? And they should understand some things, but you can't expect education to solve all issues. Even in traditional education for workplaces, for phishing, for Web2, I'm talking, I think it was 15% of people that would still get phished, no matter what the training they got. Humans are still the weakest link. And it's on us in companies like Kerberus to create these automated security rails that allow them to transact without ever losing funds. And that's why we also have the coverage, which is sort of an insurance. It's not insurance, making that clear for my legal team who's going to kill me. It's coverage. But the idea is that even if Kerberus doesn't deliver in its promise, you can still get your money back, which is similar to your bank. You know, if you, or your credit card, your credit card gets stolen, someone spends a lot of money on it, you're like, hey, my credit card got stolen, chargeback, right? Not exactly the same. You cannot do a chargeback in crypto, but if you can get the money back, at least, okay, that's something.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel here we need also to maybe to precise, because we're talking a lot about the risk, etc. But it's important to keep in mind also that there's a reality in which, I mean, people can actually use and trade cryptos safely. There is a way to do, right? Like, you guys are here also to show that there is a healthy way to kind of evolve in Web3 and using crypto for people who believe in it. Yeah.
We believe in the future and the need for crypto and for decentralized finance. We are still very far from it. Everything we work on is to drive us closer to there. We're not going to work on how you swap, how you launch tokens. We'll leave that to other people. You know, like they can manage the speculation aspect of it and even the utility of it. We want to manage that. Whatever you do is safe. That's the long-term goal of Kerberus.
Great. Another big news you had this year, and you mentioned it several times already, but you guys acquired Pocket Universe. Um, it's actually a pretty big thing. So first, congratulations, congrats! Like that's a pretty big news. Can you maybe run us through a bit the process? How did this happen? Was it like something that was planned, or was it more of a like situation thing?
Yeah, thank you. So the true story is that I have a very good pulse on I had, not anymore pretty much because we don't have any left, pulse on our competitors. I would look at what they're doing, what they're not doing, what's happening. And I noticed this very inactive period for Pocket Universe. And I was like, something is going on there. Maybe we should reach out. So I reached out, and they were trying to sell the company. In fact, after we finished acquisition, I learned that a month before I reached out, they were already starting the process. So they talked to all the major companies. They were in talks with top 3 wallet in the market. They even had an offer for that, and our offer was better. Our offer was better than them, and that's why we acquired them. We're still talking to the founders. They are still part of everything, but they're not in charge of anything. But we're still talking with them, and yeah, it was the acquisition that I would say that cemented us as the leading security solution for 2 reasons. One is that we got the most user base from them, and the second one is that in business-wise, we've done amazingly well. We acquired top 3 Fire in 2024 and top 1 Pocket Universe in 2025. So business-wise, we've done like when we talk to people, even some people outside of crypto, and we tell them what we did, and they're like, yeah, and what's your team? Back then, we were 2 people. We did all of this with 2 people, minimal funding, and we got to where we were pretty much by ourselves. So yeah, it's an incredible thing, and now we are a much bigger team. Now we are 10 people.
Okay.
Because of the Pocket Universe acquisition, we were able to grow massively, and we have a lot of things coming. I think that in February we might be able to release the first version of Kerberus Mobile.
Wow.
Meaning you'll have mobile protection. I'm not sure with every wallet or only MetaMask for now on mobile, but it's something that the Pocket Universe founders wanted to do for a long time, but it's extremely challenging to do. So we had to get a mobile expert in order to make it happen, because the security is already built, but how to in mobile in the Chrome extensions, we deal with the Chrome store and in a way that it's developed for Chrome. We know how to do that. All our competitors knew how to do that. But when you go into App Store, now you're dealing with Apple on a different operating system. Completely different world, completely different thing. The way that we will protect people there is very creative as well. It's very complicated. I'm hoping that the estimate I received from the development team was that we would get a first version, but usable by users, maybe by only some, next month, February 2026.
I mean, if there was no pressure on the dev team, now there is a lot of pressure on the dev team to release the products on time. Okay, but I mean, that's great. That's a huge improvement. Does it mean that the protection will be on the device? Is it going to work like an app?
Yeah, an app on your device.
Wow, great. I mean, we'll definitely look out for this whenever it goes out, and I'm sure that there will be news about it. Getting back on the Pocket Universe acquisition, did you guys incorporate them directly into your product, or was it more of like you kind of merged the technologies or the user base? Like how did this work?
In terms of the founders, no, it was not an acqui-hire. We didn't hire them. They were already working on their new thing.
Okay.
So if anyone watching, they can talk to them. They're working on something outside of crypto, by the way. It doesn't have to do with crypto, to my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, but to my understanding, it doesn't have to do with crypto. In terms of the security, no. It was a similar acquisition to Fire. We actually just this month finalized the migration of our security into Pocket Universe. So now Pocket Universe security is running on Kerberus hardware, to say it in a way. So it was mostly about the brand, the user base, and then the reach that we could get with Pocket Universe.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's still a pretty huge achievement. I have just a couple of questions more. One of them is, as I mentioned, we saw you guys everywhere this year. I don't know if it was the largest operations that you guys did, but we were in Token 49. The logo was absolutely everywhere, and I know that Dev Connect in Argentina was also a big one, etc. Is it like a new strategy that you guys took, or is it like a kind of marketing arc that you had on the end of at the end of 2025? Like, what is the status? Can we expect you also to support more and more events?
It was we've done it for brand awareness pretty much. Before, people, when we told them Kerberus, they wouldn't know us because sorry, essentially we were fourth or five or six in the market, and people would know Fire, Wallet Guard, Pocket Universe. They would know those brands. So for brand awareness, we wanted to get out, especially this. All of this happened after the Pocket Universe acquisition, which was in the middle of August, something like that. Maybe announced in September, I don't remember. So we plan to continue doing it. We do plan to not do anything for February, mostly because we got pretty burned from doing so much. I was in Argentina, which is my home country, for like 3 weeks. And after that, I went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi for Solana Breakpoint. I traveled way too much. And since the company grew so much, me being outside my home, like the comfort of my home, I have 3 screens here, I have my desk, everything, is not productive enough. So we plan to return potentially in token for April, but nothing in February. We are hands down working, and as I told you, the mobile version, that's a super exciting thing, because I think I remember some polls asking people on Twitter, like, where do you do crypto? And maybe 60% of people are doing on mobile, and there's nothing on mobile right now. There's nothing. You're in the Wild West on mobile. So that's a very important thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that in many places people have mobiles and they don't have computers. Like, they literally don't own computers. So that's definitely. I mean, I don't have the stats, but I wouldn't be surprised if you have more crypto users on mobile than on desktop, for sure. But yeah, okay. So that's big news. That's a big news. Anything else for 2026? What can we expect from you guys?
You can expect much more. It's 2026 will be the first year where Danor is not the only one behind the development. So up until Q3 of 2025, it was only Danor. Literally, like, everything you saw developed for Kerberus, all the security, everything, Danor developing. I helped him test a little bit, but everything was Danor. Now we have a very big development team, and we have a lot of things coming, things that I don't want to talk about yet. I told you about mobile. Mobile is a big one that we are waiting for a long time. We want to do it, but very complex. And yeah, I would say stay tuned for 2026. I hope the market goes with us as well. I don't know if we're going to have a full-on bear market, but we'll continue building if it's through the bear market. But if it's a bull market, it means that more people will be at risk. A lot of more people will be at risk. So, and that's when we will show up to keep them safe, and so to make sure that they don't lose any funds, and hopefully they never get rugged, but hopefully that only thing that could happen is that they get rugged, and that's a in the nature of crypto right now, there's not much we can do about it unless you stick to major tokens, pretty much.
Yeah, but do you notice like a big difference in a bearish market compared to a bull market in which like everyone is spending a bit without thinking? Like, does it actually impact your business?
It does. Less user. We have substantially less user activity.
Okay.
Substantially. That's when the market is if and I'm not talking like 10% less user activity. I'm talking maybe 80% less user activity, purely based on market conditions. To the point that I'm saying that if tomorrow you and I woke up to 130K Bitcoin, most of our user base would wake up and get into their computers. Most of them.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. And on this, maybe one precision. Can you a bit like precise how your subscription system works? Like, is it just something that people can activate, or are you guys more on a SaaS model?
So it's not a subscription. So what we do is for the version of Pocket Universe that has coverage, that's where most of our users are and where we'll continue. For the coverage, they pay a small fee per some of their DeFi transactions. If they turn off the coverage, they enjoy the protection for free. So they don't need to pay anything. But having the coverage is a great peace of mind in case anything goes wrong. It's up to $30,000, which is very high. From our research, the traditional user loss is $1,000, and more high net worth users maybe $10,000. This is $30,000. It's overkill, but it's there for a reason. We want that if anyone loses funds, that they can continue being in crypto. But the security of what we do is extremely tight, so that doesn't even happen.
Okay. And to get things started, if I want to get mine, I just go on Kerberus.com, and if everything starts there.
So you can get Kerberus Sentinel-3 on Kerberus.com, and you can get Pocket Universe in pocketuniverse.app.
Thank you for joining us on NCNG Talks. Make sure to check all the other episodes on Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify. Hope you enjoyed this one. Cheers.